So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up. I'm on fire. So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from the hallowed halls of Rhode Island College, weighing tonight at 255 pounds, please welcome Mr. Sterling.
Well, you know, I can't fault a man for making an effort in presenting himself in a manner that demands respect. You know, going out there and demanding respect and getting in people's faces, I deserve respect, it's not an admirable way to go about things. It might work for a couple of people who are on TV, but overall, generally speaking, going out there and demanding respect in a verbal manner, it doesn't warrant it and it doesn't get respect. But here's a man who is well educated. Here's a man who is a veteran in the Rhode Island wrestling scene. And here is a man who carries himself as a stand-up individual. I know this because I know Mr. Sterling, but his ring attire suggests that you shouldn't just look at him as a wrestler.
From Miami, Florida, weighing in at 230 pounds, Kevin Stryder.
Someone that has a completely different take on life, you know, or different lease on life. Kevin Stryder is an admirable man too. I like him. He's a good guy. But he's all about having a good time. He's all about having some fun. And Mr. Sterling is not about having any fun. I mean, for example, Kevin Stryder's yet to make his way to the ring. Mr. Sterling was already in the ring by the time it took him to just say hello to a couple people. Very different personalities here, but folks, both of which are very, very skilled athletes. I do also want to point out, and I want to make mention of the fact that Mr. Sterling is a former trainee of Matt Storm. This man's no slouch.
Chris Sterling, who I have not seen in over 2 months, is not pleased at all about what's going on in the ring, it does not seem.
He's not one for shenanigans. He's not one for tomfoolery. The man is all about getting the job done. That's all he cares about. And his job right now is to put Kevin Stryder's shoulders onto the mat.
What about a hootenanny? No shenanigans or tomfoolery, a little bit hootenanny.
I don't think that's Mr. Sterling's thing. No hootenannies, no fun and games. And there's a time and place for everything.
He's like one of those substitutes that I just never liked. Just wasn't up for games. Is he really dancing?
Well, hey, he's trying to get down with his bad self. You know, he's got himself a fun-loving side.
That's true. All I got is the dice. That's all I got, and I do it too much.
The throw of the dice and the fist pump, man. All of those went out of style in the 90s.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm a bit of a throwback, and Kevin Stryder is going to dance off a little bit here, too. And I tell you what, this is like a wedding gone very bad. This is a wedding with an open bar gone very, very bad. And did he just, if I remember correctly, I believe the term is he's just been served.
I'm not quite sure who is serving what.
And saying that Kevin Stryder won the dance competition, so...
Well, you know what, Mr. Sterling, the actual legitimate contest is yet to begin. There's been no ringing of the bell.
And now Sterling just clubbing Kevin Stryder. And, well, this is Kevin Stryder all fun and games, and Sterling... See, nobody wins with a headbutt. Nobody wins with a headbutt.
Yeah, that's a two-way street right there.
And now there's a kick right to the head by Chris Sterling. Mr. Sterling, excuse me. He's very, as he's choking out Kevin Stryder. At a 4 count now.
Listen to this. He's saying as though he should be considered a role model because he's an educator, and I don't argue that.
I don't either, but you know he's not teaching class. The ring is Stryder with the big right hands, the big clubbing right hands, and Sterling with the kick right to the gut. As Sterling is now yelling at the kid saying school's not out.
If he's going to let these folks at ringside get to him, that's not a veteran move.
Big scoop and slam by Chris Sterling. Let's not mince words here. It's Sterling at the cover. 1, 2, and Sean Jackson only finds 2. Sterling is a very talented professional wrestler. I mean, we shouldn't take anything away from his multiple attitude changes that we've seen in RWA over the last year.
Right.
He's very, very talented. Another big clubbing blow by Kevin Stryder and a big chop now. Now, would you consider that tie that Sterling's wearing a foreign object?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if I were in management again, I would advise one of my clients to go right for it. I mean, if the referee is not going to consider that contraband at the beginning of the match, then it's not a foreign object.
I concur. Nice suplex by Chris Sterling. Kevin Stryder in a lot of trouble. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Sean Jackson only finds 2 again. And Sterling in full control. Really, we haven't seen Kevin Stryder in control in this match pretty much at all since the dance-off ended.
I think he might have gotten himself a little bit winded during that dance-off, and Sterling's just taking it to him in the chest, looking to knock the last of wind out of his lungs.
Irish whip into the corner. Stryder hits the corner really hard. Sterling looking to charge, going for a big splash. No water in the pool again, and now a Northern Light suplex. Nicely done. And a bridge. 1, 2, and a kick out by Chris Sterling. It looked like Kevin Stryder landed directly on his neck when he suplexed Chris Sterling. Irish whip now by Stryder, reversed by Sterling. Off the ropes, looking for a big clothesline. Stryder from behind. Big roll up. 1, 2, and a kick out by Chris Sterling. Stryder finding his stride, pardon the pun.
And there's Mr. Sterling to knock him right off of that train of momentum. Slowing down the pace to a pace where he feels as though he could be in control. I don't think he should go fast. I think I feel as though right now this is in his favor.
Sterling now with the foot on the lower regions, if you will. Sean Jackson trying to stop it. And kind of a double knee clap that kind of hurt the nether regions of club hop and Kevin Stryder. And Stryder's not going to go club hopping if that has been injured. Sterling again rolling Stryder, and just a cocky pin.
Man.
1. And only finding 1 is Sean Jackson, our referee. He's got his hands full here tonight.
Wait a minute.
I think we should be pretty good at this quiz if he's going to grade us. So I'll give you the first suplex, Bobby Rossi.
Well, he's making an attempt at a German. And now Stryder's got the waist lock on him and attempting that very same suplex.
Another waist lock by Chris Sterling. Mr. Sterling broken by Kevin Stryder. Stryder goes behind Sterling, breaks again. We're still on suplex number 1 here, folks. Haven't gotten in. Stryder breaks in a big kick. A very low kick by Mr. Sterling off the ropes, going for a clothesline. And Stryder blocks and actually hits the first suplex, which is a German suplex. Cover here by Stryder. 1, 2, and Sterling kicks out at 2.
I don't know, if referee Jackson had gotten there a little bit sooner, that could have potentially been a 3 count. Although I commend him for making sure he's in position. You always want to, you can't leave yourself in a blind position when you're trying to referee a match.
Chris Sterling taking a second. Mr. Sterling outside the ring trying to catch his breath a little bit. Kevin Stryder trying to keep momentum in his favor, holding that right arm off the ropes. There he goes with a big clothesline, stopped by Sterling, and off the top rope. Those ropes, and we were here when we set this up here, Bobby Rossi. Those ropes are very tight. That could be very damaging. You could tear a shoulder, separate a shoulder, if you will, and out. Sterling locks up the arm. Modified arm breaker, almost a key lock, if you will.
Look, this is a guy who held the Triple Crown Championship for the second longest reign in here in the company.
And now Kevin Stryder just submits. And Mr. Sterling, well, he's not leaning on anybody really, gets the victory over Kevin Stryder, and Stryder favoring that arm. Looks a little bit surprised, Bobby Rossi, but Sterling was in full control of that match from Jump Street.
Well, I mean, there were signs of life coming out of the club hopper himself, but I mean, Sterling, as you said, Massey, he didn't see anything not, the wool was not being pulled over Mr. Sterling's eyes.
Oh, absolutely not. And now Kevin Stryder on center of the ring, and he's offering a sign of respect, a handshake here to Mr. Sterling. And you know what? That's good sportsmanship for a guy who just lost.
Absolutely. Admirable.
And Sterling is going to... Wow.
Oh,
He said,
man.
I don't shake hands with flunky, said Mr. Sterling. That's not right.
Wow. I really feel as though Mr. Sterling is allowing some of his personal gripes with the world to impede his athletic prowess here.
And now he's getting all over one of our young fans in the front row. And after an impressive victory by Mr. Sterling, a sign of respect shown by club hopping Kevin Stryder, and just completely disrespected was Mr. Sterling.
You know, this is a sad way to cap off, you know, being a part of all RWA's legacy events. He also has been a part of RWA's legacy from the very beginning. This is the 6th one. I'm glad to see him pick up the victory, but the young sportsman-like nature of Mr. Sterling is very disheartening.
No, I completely agree. But you know what, Bobby Rossi? We have 3 title matches tonight, and the first one is coming up next. It's going to be a fatal 4-way elimination championship match, and we're going to unify the junior heavyweight championship and the RWA television championship and make it what is going to be called, I believe, the RWA hype championship.
That's right, Rob. We've got those 2 undercard titles, our junior heavyweight, and our television championship will be combined into one. A lot of the people within the ranks of junior heavyweight, they've been in contention for the television title, and our ladies of management has decided it's best to just consolidate both of those titles. And this matchup right here, it's going to be great. This is a fatal 4-way elimination matchup. It's going to be, I think this is definitely going to pick up the air, pick up the room in this room tonight. You know, 4-ways tend to be fast-paced, and you know the two defending champions are going to be here in battle. Rob Massey.
I would say Damian Black and TJ Swift are really in a lot of trouble here. In elimination style, you're defending your championship, but you're also trying to unify here against Amanda Fox and Crimson Alchemia. They're not slouches in either of these types of matches.
No, and there's a lot on the line for this matchup. You know, you have Amanda Fox, who has basically foregone her #1 contendership. You have both champions putting their championship on the line, and Crimson Alchemia is putting his contract, his RWA contract, on the line. So it's all or nothing for Crimson Alchemia, another factor.
And the other factor that we have yet to mention, Charles Wolf in the corner of Damian Black, the only manager that will be out here for all 4 of these contenders. And I know I have not been around for a while, but Charles Wolf has gotten involved in some matches. Hasn't really fared too well, but he does get involved.
As a former manager, I can honestly say that you cannot help yourself. You know, when you see your client in there fending for what's best, defending a title, looking to earn a title, you can't help but want to do anything to put the odds in your client's favor. So, I mean, I'm not saying his actions have been right or warranted, but I understand.
Oh, absolutely. And you were absolutely no stranger to getting involved in matches. that great cane of yours was used often. In fact, it was used against me in my first RWA event, as you told me to get out of the ring and then club me with it.
I don't recall that, but you know what? My memory isn't what it used to be, so I'm not saying it didn't happen.
That match will be next on RWA Legacy.